we're completing interviews with approximately 80% of all COVID-19 cases every single day. That means that for 80% of COVID-19 cases, we have the opportunity to ask people who they may have exposed to COVID-19 when they were infectious, and we have an ability to look backwards and see where they were when they were infectious or what their likely source of infection is. As part of this, we oftentimes work with other jurisdictions as well. And for the anime conference in particular here, it's a good example of we worked with the Minnesota Department of Health and the CDC to understand, as they were doing contact tracing of this Minnesota resident, what they were learning. One important update there is that so far, completing several rounds of interviews of the person from Minnesota, there's not been any New York City residents identified as close contacts or people that he would have exposed when he was at the conference a couple of weeks ago now. What we know is that there was the gentleman that we referred to who is in Minnesota who has not yet identified any close contacts or people he exposed that are New York City residents. But what we also know is that looking at our contact tracing data, because again, we're completing interviews with 80% of all cases across New York City every single day, we've identified that there are 5 other cases that were also at the anime conference. There were about tens of thousands of people at this conference. And one of the things that we want to do is make sure that we're letting everybody at the conference know that there was a case of Omicron that was there and what our specific guidance is for them in order to keep themselves, their families, and their communities safe. So what we're doing about that is today we've sent texts, made phone calls, and sent emails to everybody that we have contact information for at the conference. And the upshot of our messaging is simple. If you were at the conference, we recommend that you go now and get tested. Once you get tested, that gives us the line of sight that we need to first have you understand if you have COVID, but also so that we can perform further contact tracing, so we can put the whole picture together about what happened, and we can do what we need to do to offer you resources if you're a case, or offer you resources if you've been exposed to help you to get through this. And it's not easy to get through this. We've not established any sort of link between those 5 cases and widespread transmission at the conference. So the value of having this data is it allows us to really drill down and understand if there was widespread transmission, of which thus far in our investigation, we do not see. But then also it enables us to really be able to talk to the public about what does this mean? What it means is that Omicron is in New York City today. There is community transmission going on with this new variant in addition to the Delta variant in New York City. And our message for you is the same that it's been to date, but even more forceful today, which is that if you're going outside or if you're inside, wear a mask, get tested if you have symptoms especially, or if you're going to a gathering or if you're going to be seeing family members that could be at risk. And if you're vaccinated now, first off, get vaccinated. And if you're vaccinated now, get the booster.